What's going on? I hope you all are good. So, The Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 6. Now, before I get into it, I just want to say that this episode came out of nowhere. I'm sure we all thought that after the previous episode, we were going to see Moff Gideon finally make his way back into the show, and we'd finally have a main villain of this season. Considering we literally do not have a main villain. Everything that happened in the previous episode was hinting to us that all the episodes from here on out were going to be story driven. No filler, no unimportant side missions, just straight up important story, which we did not get. We got a side mission in a side mission where Bo and Din, for some reason, go to this new planet that looks beautiful, very clean, very bright, very futuristic, but they go here to figure out a problem that does not concern them at all. They go there to find out what's going on with this certain group, this little group of droids that seem to be going rogue around this certain area of the galaxy, which does not make any sense considering how the previous episode concluded. We should have seen Moff Gideon, we should have found out who broke him out of the transport ship. Like honestly, I just do not understand how the writer just decided out of nowhere, you know what, we're gonna make another filler episode that has nothing to do with the plot, even though I understand what the viewers want to see and what they've got enough of this season already. Did Jon Favreau not compare this season to the previous two and think for a second, this season has too much filler compared to the other two, not a lot has happened in it, this might not go down well with the viewers. They've had a few mid-shows in between season 2 of Mandalorian and season 3. Let's make sure this one is a banger, let's make sure it's about the story, let's make sure we get to see the actual main character more than a side character, aka Bo Katan. It just baffles me how he decides to add this episode this late into the season. We've literally only got 3 episodes left. Well, now 2 after this one. And we just had a side mission inside a side mission. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about the part that really took me out the episode and really ruined the episode for me, and I know it most likely did this for you as well. Now, I don't know why Hollywood loves to do this, but they've been doing it a lot recently. Apparently, they love to take their audience out of the show they are watching. They don't want the viewer to escape into the world that they're creating in their show or movie, etc. Now, you may be wondering why I mentioned that. Well, if you've seen this episode, you would know that they decided to put Lizzo, of all people, and Jack Black, who I actually like, he's a great actor, into this episode, and they play goofy characters with terrible dialogue, cringy dialogue, and it just pulled me right out of the scene, right out of the show. Why do they need to add Lizzo into this episode? Why does she even need to be in Star Wars? She's not an actress, she's a singer, and she isn't even good at acting. She was not good in this episode. It was like watching an SNL skit. I really want to know how this came to be. Who was sitting in the creator's office and just decided for whatever reason, why have we not seen Lizzo in Star Wars? What is wrong with it? What's wrong with George Lucas? How did he not put Lizzo into the first film of Star Wars? It just makes so much sense. Star Wars equals Lizzo. They just go together so well. You know what? We're just gonna do that. We're gonna do that in the next episode. She's just gonna play whatever character we want. In fact, we're gonna create a character for her right here, right now, in this very office. And we're only gonna take 5 minutes to create a compelling character that everyone will care about. We will spend 5 minutes on that, and then we'll move on. Wait a minute. We also need Jack Black. Jack Black and Lizzo. Why have they not been in the same movie or on the same set? Why have they not been in the same room? It doesn't add up. Let's do that in this episode right here, right now. Let's go. This is The Mandalorian. Why is Lizzo not in it? And why is Jack Black not in it? Guys, we must have been stupid. Why have we not been asking for Lizzo and Jack Black to be in The Mandalorian? I think that's on us, that we didn't get it sooner. But now going back to being serious, that was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Another thing that does not make sense in this episode. It's just so random and it's not needed. Not even like 1% needed. Not even 0.1% needed. It just shouldn't be a thing, and yet it is now. Do you know what I can actually relate this to? Something in She-Hulk. And yes, I watched that. For some reason I watched that show every week. I tuned in for the weekly episodes, and that's one of the biggest regrets of my life. But at least me watching that show has some value now, because I can now compare that show to The Mandalorian, even though The Mandalorian shouldn't even be in the same breath as She-Hulk. But the Lizzo cameo is in the same boat as Megan Thee Stallion appearing out of nowhere to shake some booty with She-Hulk. The animators actually had to create that scene with jiggle physics and everything. And I'm comparing this episode to that episode of She-Hulk. It should not be happening. I don't know how we got here, but I'm not surprised. This is a Disney thing. They love to do some crazy shit. What they've been doing with Marvel has been flopping recently, and what they're doing with Star Wars, I mean, it's... do I even need to say anything? It pulled me right out of the episode, and the episode is 45 minutes. This happened in like the first 10 minutes. As soon as I see Lizzo and Jack Black just being themselves in Star Wars, I first had to process it, then I was just like, what the fuck? I'm not even surprised, but I'm just still annoyed because it should not happen. But it's Disney. I was just looking at the screen and thinking, this is the epitome of what Disney is. Just straight up random and just does things for no reason. I bet Lizzo has some dirt on the producer or something. Kathleen Kennedy, this was definitely her choice. I doubt Jon Favreau was the one who thought, you know what, let's get Lizzo in this bitch. We did not need her. I like Jack Black, but he didn't even need to be in this. Even though I would have liked to see him play a more important character, a cooler character. Not just a cameo that doesn't have any meaning and was just forced in there. And at least he's a good actor. Lizzo was terrible. It's like she didn't even know that she was actually on a set. She was just being herself and they just recorded it. Anyways, enough about that. I'm just ranting because I know you guys feel the same way. You don't even have to tell me in the comments. I know you feel the same way. It was ridiculous. Anyway, with all that being said, let's carry on with the actual plot of the episode. So, whilst Din and Bo are in this area, Din decides to start kicking super battle droids, and conveniently enough, one of them gets up after getting kicked over and starts running away. They were just so lucky that Din Djarin decided to start kicking the droids, and he actually kicked one of the faulty ones of all of them. There were so many in the area just walking by, and on the third kick, he kicked one that was actually corrupted. So that one gets up and starts running away like a human. We've never seen one of these battle droids move like that. I'm pretty sure they're only meant to walk and they're just very tanky. They're just very strong droids and they can take more than one blaster shot. But no, in this episode it runs like a wild receiver, like it's in Subway Surfers, just starts running away, chucking obstacles down for Din and Bo to jump over and avoid. And it's just sprinting away like a human. And it's even acting like a human, like looking back to see how far away Bo and Din are. We have never ever seen this type of droid move like that. And that just caught me off guard as well. It was a very odd episode and it's just complete filler. It actually reminds me of a Clone Wars filler or a Rebels filler. It's one of those random episodes that kind of just happens just because the writer wanted it to happen. It's hardly relevant to the previous episode and the ending of the previous episode. Anyway, Din rugby tackles the droid through a glass window. He flies out of there. He doesn't even have a jetpack to boost himself. He just comes flying through a window and tackles a super battle droid. They are so strong, so I don't know how he bodied it like that. But anyway, yeah, so they tackle that droid. They find out who's been corrupting all of the droids. They go back to confront him, because we've already met him in the episode and he was acting innocent. It's the old man from Back to the Future, it's the Doc, and it didn't feel like he didn't belong in the episode and it didn't take anything away from the episode. He actually seemed like a character, and he wasn't just a celebrity existing in the Star Wars universe. But anyway, he mentions Dooku, I guess that was cool. It would have been cooler if the episode was good. Then they take him to Lizzo and Jack Black, who are actually married in this episode, but whatever. And then the weirdest dialogue ever happens. For some reason he switches up straight away. He's like, oh no. He's like, I support the CIS, I'm a separatist, I support Dooku and you cannot change my mind. Cuts to the next scene, he's apologizing and saying he'll make it up to them no matter what. And it's not like he's lying, it's genuine. Like he just really feels bad now all of a sudden, which doesn't make sense. And then yeah, after that it's finally ended, this part of the episode. So this took up about 40 minutes of the 45-minute episode. So for the last minute before the credits roll, Bo finds the other Mandalorians. This should have been the whole episode, or at least this be the main thing and then something else more important. But yeah, she challenges the main guy, who is now the leader from season 2. And yeah, they have a fight with really mid choreography. There's about 3 cuts a second. One punch has to have like 4 shots. But yeah, they're kind of just turning on their jetpacks and flying into each other. And they kind of just push each other around, kick each other. They lift each other onto a ship, start fighting there. And then she like gets him in a chokehold, like a guillotine, tells him to surrender, and then he does. In fact, that might have been in the middle of the fight. That did happen at some point, and then the fight carried on. Anyways, it ends, she wins. She puts the knife to his throat, that was it. But then the leader says, the person you should really be fighting is Din, because he has the dark saber. But then conveniently enough, instead of fighting, Din just says, you know what? This dark saber isn't mine. This doesn't belong to me. This lightsaber isn't mine. I don't really want to have it anymore. Yeah, I've wanted to get rid of it for a while, but I did think it was kind of cool, so I just held on to it for a bit. Caused some drama. Bo's been wanting to be the leader forever, but Din just makes the decision to give it back to Bo. And then he was like, well, Bo did save me in the past, so technically the dark saber is hers. And they're like, wow, well, I guess so. Well, the dark saber must be hers. She saved you in the past. Why didn't you say so? Come on, give it to Bo. Give it to her. Look, she wants it. Look, her hands out, just waiting for it. Just give it to her. That's all you had to do, Din. Just give her the fucking dark saber. So that was just very entertaining to see Din and Bo have this huge conflict and they fight to be the leader of Mandalore. It was so cool in my head, in my imagination, but that's what we really got. So it is what it is, I guess. Kind of lazy, but you know, this does happen now and again in these shows, so I guess I'll accept it. But yeah, that's basically the episode. It ends there. The Lizzo-Lorian season 3 has been so good. This episode was a banger, straight banger. I've got a theory video coming up about Lizzo owning the dark saber in the future, because I think she has potential to take down Bo and own that dark saber, and I actually think that she will tame the Mythosaur. You guys might not be on my side with that, but I know what I'm doing with these theories. You saw how badass her character was, and she's my favourite Star Wars character, basically. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've always felt like something has been missing in Star Wars, and this episode gave it to us. Lizzo. Just what an all-around great episode. 10 out of 10. What did you guys think about it? Down below, let me know. Do you agree or disagree with my takes? Did any of you love this episode? Please tell me in the comments. And everyone who says they like this episode, technically that's just your way of coming out and saying that you're not from this planet. You must be an alien, because that is just absurd. But seriously, if you liked it, fair enough, good for you. But in my opinion, this episode was not it. Great acting from everyone though, apart from Lizzo. Katie Sackhoff is acting the hell out of Bo Katan, even when the writing in this episode just doesn't match how much effort she's putting in. And the stuntmen who played in Djarin are doing a great job. Pedro Pascal was not on set for the whole of this season, so the stuntmen are doing great. But either way, Pedro's doing a great job voice acting. But anyways, that's it. This is my review. This is how I feel about the episode. I'll see you guys in a bit.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
We actually get to go in. Oh wow, this is where Luke got frozen. No, this is where Han got frozen. Oh, this is cool. What happens if I jump in there? Do I die? Guess we'll never know. Vader, get out. Let's fight. Let's fight, Vader. Come on. This is sad, but you're gonna go out like this. One bullet left, and you're dead. Come on, you're better than this. Come on, give me a real fight. Come on. Okay, B is to dodge. Okay, get used to it again. That's the block. Okay. Whoa. Whoa, buddy. Okay, he's better with this dude.